training, and in this video I'm going to discuss on conditional. So these are the topics that I'll be covering as part of conditional statement. First one is what is conditional statement, then the difference between condition block and statements, then the type of conditional statements in Python, then the conditional statement group, elif or multiple if, then shorthand or ternary if else and if elif, and then finally nested conditional statements. So as part of this video, I am going to cover these topics. So let's get started. So what is conditional statement? So conditional statements are basically the decision making statements in programming. So any statement which basically makes the decision within the programming or within the flow of the programming are known as conditional statements. So they basically work on certain conditions. So what are conditions? So conditions are also known as Boolean expressions. So Boolean expression and conditions are basically something that returns either true or false. So they basically returns the Boolean value. Now what is the difference between condition, block and statements? So I'm covering a little bit theory here, so please bear with me. I'll be going to explain you these things, these concepts programmatically also. But let's cover the theory first. So what is a condition? As I have already told, condition is also known as Boolean expression, which is something that returns either true or false. Then the next thing is statement. So what is a statement? So statement is a line of code that does something. And what is block? So group of one or more statements is known as block. Now coming to types of conditional statement in Python. So we have if else, and the next one is if-elif. So these are the type of conditional statements in Python. So let's start with the if statement. So if statement basically checks if a condition is true. If it is, then the program executes the certain block of code. If not, then the program skips that block of code and goes to the next line. Syntax of if looks like this. So if and then the condition and then the intended if statement block. Enough of theory. So let me directly jump onto the pie chart. First we will be writing the if keyword and then the condition. So condition, let's say if I define a variable a is equal to 4, then if I'm writing if a equal to 4, then print hi. Now let's look at this code more closely. So this particular thing where we are checking a equal to 4, this is known as condition. And then print hi, this is known as if block. So block can contain one or more statements. So in this particular example, this if block contains only one statement. After we are using the if keyword, the statement begins with the indentation. What is indentation? So as I told you, in Python, we basically give the indentation of 4 spaces. So these are 4 spaces here. So if block start with 4 spaces. Okay, so this is the basic. So what does it mean is that, so if a is equal to 4, then print hi, otherwise skips this particular thing. Okay, let me write down one more line. Okay, so it says that if a equal to 4, then print this line, and then the normal execution flow will happen and the control will go to line number 7. So in this case, a is equal to 4, so it will print hi, and then normal execution will proceed and it will also print hello. So the output will be hi, hello. Right? Let's say if I give a equal to 5 here. So in this case, it is checking the condition. If the condition is true, then only it will go inside the if block. Here the condition is false, so it will not execute this line and it will go to the normal execution after checking this condition. That is, it will print the line number 7. So it will just print hello in this case. When I run the program, it just prints hello. So this is a very simple and basic if statement. Now this condition, as I told you, right, this condition we can either give in bracket or we can skip the bracket also. So you've seen that previously I was using bracket a double equal to 4. I have put that inside the bracket, but here I can skip the bracket and I can directly write the condition. So it will still work. It'll just print hello. Now, as I told you, this particular thing is the condition. So condition is either true or false. Any string, list, tuple, set, dictionary is true except empty ones. So if any string or list or tuple or set or dictionary is given in place of condition which has some value, then it will be considered as true until and unless it is an empty. Similarly, for number, any number is true except 0. If I'll put anything here, let's say if Python, I am printing Python. Any string, if I'll give, it will be considered as true. So when it is true, it will print the if block. So output will be Python and then hello. Similarly, I can give any other sequence data type. Let's say if I'll give any list until it is empty will be considered as true. So here also the control will go inside the if block and Python will be printed, and then after that hello will be printed. Now if I'll give empty string here, this is false, so this will not go inside it. It will just print hello. If I run it, it is printing hello because empty string is considered as false. With respect to number, I can give any number. I can even give float number in negatives also. So let's say if I'm giving minus 5.788, something like that, just a random number, it will be considered as true because any number will be considered as true except 0. So in this case, the output will be Python and hello. But if I'll give number as 0, then it will be considered as false and Python will not be printed. It will just print hello in this particular scenario. So the output will be hello. Okay, let me write down some random number if2, so here it will be considered as true. If a if block contains only one statement, then I can directly write after the colon like this. I don't have to write that if block in a new line if it contains just one statement. And this syntax will also work, so it is printing Python and hello. And I said, right, brackets are optional, so like this also it will work. So this is about if statement. Next one is if else. What is if else statement? So it checks if a condition is true. If it is, the program executes the certain if block. If not, the program skips if block and executes the else block. So I have written down a simple if else. So it says that if the condition is true, then execute this part. If it is false, then execute this part. So here a is equal to 5, so it will just execute this part and it will not execute this part. And then the normal execution flow will happen. That is, hello will be printed. So it will print a is 5 and hello. So you can see in the output it is printing a is 5 and hello. Let's say if I change the value of a is equal to 3. So in this case, this particular condition becomes false and it will not go inside this if block. It will go inside the else block. So it will print a is not 5 and it will print hello. So this is the simple if else statement. Next thing we have is if-elif statement. So if-elif is used to include multiple conditional expression. So it basically includes multiple conditional expression after the if condition. And in this case, usage of else is optional or situational with elif. So I have tweaked the previous program and I have included elif conditions. So you can see here, there are 3 conditions used, multiple conditions after if. This is first condition, this is second condition, this is third condition, and this particular part will be printed if none of these condition is met. So program will first check this condition. If it is true, it will execute this and it will not execute these. Similarly, if first condition is not true, then it will not go inside it. It will check the second condition. If it is true, it will go inside it and will not execute the further condition checks. So what happens in this case when, let's say, a is equal to 7. So for this particular if statement, it is false. It will not execute this. Second condition, which is after elif, it will check. Again, it is false. It will not go inside it. And third, it will check a double equal to 7, or it is checking a equal to 7. So it matches. So it will print a is 7. It will also not go in else part because the condition is met here itself, and it will print hello. So a is 7 and hello will be the output. A is 7 and hello is the output. And I said that else is optional or situational, so I can omit else part also. So let's say if a is 70, so in this case none of these condition is matching. I have removed the else part, otherwise it would have gone into else block, but right now no else block is there, so nothing will be printed. It will just print hello. So if I run the program, it will print hello. So this was the quick video on conditional statement and introduction to if else, and if elif.